Hello everybody, Dark Skeleton here, and today you're going to get trolled because Blizzard has decided that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is now the new Hearthstone. And by that I mean, okay, so we have Blood of the Ancient One here. Technically two more cards, but one is tied into this. If you control two of these at the end of your turn, merge them into the Ancient One. It's a 9 mana 9/9, and no, the Exodia isn't original. Everybody's been saying it. So let's take a look at the Ancient One. If you have two Blood of the Ancient Ones on your field, alive, at the end of your turn, you get one, the Ancient One, which is a 9 mana 30/30, which, yes, the stats are ridiculous. And I think many people are really hoping for a BGH nerf, because otherwise it's just like, I've got the fun in my sights. So, it's a 9 mana 30/30. It doesn't do anything except win the game instantly when it turns into your turn. The problem is, polymorph, whoops, you just lost two 9 mana 9/9s that you had to really work to get onto the field. Or if BGH is played at all, whoops, your 30/30 is dead. Or mind control, whoops, your 30/30 is mine now. There's just so many things that can go wrong with this. If it was like summon a 30/30 with charge at the beginning of your turn, that would be a lot more interesting and potentially viable. I think this would be good if it was at the start of your turn, merge them into the Ancient One, 30/30 charge. Because then you either have to remove one of these, which isn't as bad as having both of them get removed instantly with this card, or you need to put down a taunt, or you're dead. With this, because it merges at the end of your turn, they have an entire turn to figure out how they want to remove this. Execute. Whoops. They run an Armor Smith into it, and then they execute it. Whoops. Your 18 mana minion is now dead. Oh, that kind of BS. Is it playable at all? No, not really. This is like a troll deck card. This is like Astral Communion. It's not really viable, but it's fun if you ever get to have it out. For instance, you could play an Aviana deck and put two of these on the field at the exact same time. You could, say, play Innervate, Faceless Manipulator on turn 10. That's technically 14 mana. Do you really want to spend 4 cards? Wait, yeah, 4 cards and 14 mana to make one big guy. Nope. Nope, that doesn't sound good at all. There are so many easier ways to win the game. It's like a throwback to Memoron's had. Or you combine 4 max on your field, and then if they survive at the start of your turn, you get a Mega Win Theory 4/8. Ignore the fact that the stats on the Memoron's had, the merged Memoron's had, the V07 Otron or whatever, are actually worse than the 4 combined max. Yeah, it's just not a thing. It's crazy that they're making a card that's like this, so I'll give that credit. A 9 mana 9/9 isn't too bad in Arena, though. I think that's the redeemable thing. Individually, the stats on these guys are actually okay. A 9/9 is nothing to be sneezed at. That said, a 9/9 for 9 mana is not worth it. If these were 8 mana, would that make a difference? If these were 7 or 8 mana, it might be worth considering, but yeah, this is just execute bait. So here's the interesting card, though. Blood Warriors, 3 mana, add a copy of each damaged friendly minion to your hand. I wish it said each damaged minion, because that would be hilarious, steal some of your opponent's minions. But this is an interesting card because it takes Warrior in a new direction. Warrior has always been a class where you don't really rely on a huge amount of minions. Yeah, Patron does duplicates of their minions, but a lot of the cards, even in Patron, were about cycling, about setting up those combos, Inner Rage, Slam, let's see, Whirlwind, of course, the weapons, and that, yeah, it takes up a lot of card slots when you use cards like that. And then Control Warrior, especially Fatigue Warrior, is even way above that. They play like Sludge Belchers, maybe Armor Smiths, maybe Acolytes of Pain, and then like Gorehowl, 60 other weapons, and all the slams and bashes you could imagine. Oh, and maybe some Deathlords too in some cases. But Blood Warriors is interesting because it could turn a warrior deck, which is primarily spell and weapon removal based, into something that could be kind of a swarm. Battle Rage is already pretty decent if you have a lot of guys on the field that are damaged. But Blood Warriors would actually give you enough cards to really pressure out the game, I think, in some circumstances. The idea that comes to my mind is Egg Warrior, like Dragon Egg. You play it with Abusive Sergeant, Inner Rage, Cruel Taskmaster, of course, and cards like that. And you can also throw in Nerubian Egg, or you could throw on Nerubian Egg. And then previously you would have used Jeeves, and that's not a super viable deck, but it was a deck that worked okay for me. Anyway, with Blood Warriors, kind of opens up the possibility of a minion-based warrior deck. Let's see here. The problem is, aggro decks generally aren't going to have too many minions, which can really take a lot of damage and remain on the field. And then big decks that your minions can take damage in and survive, it's going to be hard to develop multiple minions onto the board and clone them. So it's not an easy card to use, that's true. Echo of Medivh was probably easier because it was just clone all your minions, and that's probably why it costed one more mana. But I do think that this is pretty solid in some circumstances. Ooh, actually, you know why this card is really good? It's Patron Warrior. You make like 5 patrons on the board, you clone them, and then hey, guess what? You have more patrons to play. That actually sounds really absurd, and it could be done easily, especially with Darzan. Patron Inner Age Whirlwind Blood Warriors. That would add what, 2 more patrons to the hand? Or with Emperor Tharzan, you could play it with the Ravaging Ghoul, deal 1 damage to everything on your field. Blood Warriors, Whirlwind, some combination of that. But yeah, anything with Tharzan, Blood Warriors, and a Whirlwind is going to be pretty good. Definitely more of a patron or mid-range warrior card than control, I think, though. Yeah, but I think that's enough for now. But it's cool to see Echo of Medivh come back in some way, even if it's not a mage card. It's very interesting that it's a warrior card. I did think this would be like cloning, but I thought it would be like copy your Grimash Hellscream and duplicate it on the field and give it haste or something. Anyway, in any case, I've been Dark Skeleton. Yay, Exodia is a thing. Too bad it sucks. And I'll see you in my next video, guys. Till then.